Normally, normally we would start a bit more upbeat. Normally we'd hit the intro right out of the gate and we get straight into it, but it's a little bit different this time. Over the Memorial Day weekend, it was supposed to be a big weekend. It was supposed to be a very successful weekend. It was supposed to be a weekend of celebration. It was supposed to be a weekend of relaxing, and we were watching wrestling. Some people were watching the NBA playoffs. Some people were watching MLB. Other people were having barbecues out with their families, spending time with their loved ones, spending time with their friends. Unfortunately, one individual did not get that luxury, and one individual does not have that opportunity anymore. Over the weekend, Hardcore Sports, we lost our friend Jeffrey Turner, and I actually needed to check to make sure that I heard it right. I received 2 phone calls, one from my guest here, Mitch, and one from my friend Earl Cole. And I texted them, hey, I'll call you back in a little bit. I'm spending time with my family. And I was outside. I was with my family, with my dog, eating watermelon. I gave Earl Cole a call. And sure enough, he did confirm that Jeffrey Turner had indeed passed away. I called Mitch as well, and he indeed confirmed it to be true. I was in a state of disbelief for sure. And to be quite honest with you, it really still hasn't set in. Now, I did not know Jeffrey all too well. I did one collaboration with him back in September where we talked about NXT Worlds Collide and All Out. And we went over 3 hours, I believe. It was probably the longest stream that I've ever done. And he was very knowledgeable. He was very down to earth. And even though he didn't know me all too well, he always treated me with respect. He always reciprocated that kindness right back to me. And he was a very, very, very big supporter of mine in the long run. I even talked to him legitimately 4 days ago before I found out that he passed away. Earl actually had him on the Night of Champions watch along on Saturday afternoon. And then the following day, his mother ended up finding him in his house. And Mitch, you said that you actually know the cause of it all.
Yes, I do. It was called E. coli food poisoning. So it all started from a month ago when he had some very bad seafood. And then as time progressed, he had blisters on his lips. He had blood clots. He had like black and blue marks on his legs. So it was just a matter of time. And his body couldn't fight it. And he did not go to the doctors at all. So the main lesson of here is do not mess with your health. Go to the doctors as fast as you can. And it's still tough, guys. It is still tough. I mean, the guy's like a brother to me. I worked with him every single day ever since he started in hardcore sports. So it's really tough. So, yeah. Funeral arrangements are still being worked out. A GoFundMe page may be in the works here. So we still got all of that to be developed and to come out. So we got that, and then that's pretty much it. So if you guys have any questions, please DM me on Twitter right here at Mitch Kofsky. If you have any questions, please DM me or Earl or DJ. Please DM.
I think that probably one of the toughest things about all of this, and we are finding that out more and more as we get older. When we're young and we have all this stuff going on, we don't really think about it too much. But as we go on through life more and more, especially in this era, we're really starting to realize that life is a very, very fragile thing. Life is a very, very fragile thing. And we don't know if this could be the last meal that we eat, or this could be the last stream that we do, or when we get in our car to take a drive, we don't know if it's going to be the last time that we drive to work or come back from home, or if you talk to your mother, or if you talk to your father, you talk to your siblings if you have any. We truthfully do not know if that will be our last drive, our last conversation, our last meal, our last sleep. Jeffrey Turner had no idea that when he went to bed on Saturday, that would have been the last sunset that he's seen. And one thing is for sure, I really do believe, and I'm going to try and do this going forward, and I really need to try and make an effort overall to do this. Tell the people that you care about, that you do care about them. Tell them how much that they mean to you. Tell them that they are the world to you. Don't try and brush it off as if it's nothing, or I'll do that tomorrow, or I'll do that in 2 hours, or whatever it may be. Life is a very, very fragile thing. Nothing is ever promised. Yes, it is cliche, but it is the God-honest truth. And it's a very, very harsh truth as well. Life is a very, very fragile thing. It is not guaranteed. It is not promised. So if anyone has anyone out there that means the world to them, please go out of your way to tell them. And above all else, cherish every moment going forward like it is your last. Make the most out of anything, even if it is a bad situation. Even if it is a bad situation, make the most of it. Make the most of it and be grateful that you were able to wake up, you were able to see sunrise, you were able to sit down at the table and eat breakfast, something that we take for granted every single day. Be grateful that you do get to see your parents, or see your siblings, see your cousins, or call them, FaceTime them, email them, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Here at Hardcore Sports are extremely, extremely devastated. And even though I did not know him all too well, he was a very, very down-to-earth, a very, very generous, a very humble human being. And we here at Hardcore Sports, we are sending out our thoughts, our prayers, our condolences. Our hearts are with the family, the friends, and everyone that was personally associated and antiquated with Jeffrey Turner. And going forward, we are going to put forth the best possible content in his name. Everything that we do is going to be for him. Everything that we do is going to be for him, and everything that we do is going to be in his name, and we hope that he is looking down on us with a smile on his face. Yeah. We are going to do our best to give you guys the best wrestling analytical content. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate your generosity. I appreciate everyone in the comments, Sarah and Hula Grim specifically. Thank you. Shout out to Earl Cole as well. Thank you very much for your condolences and for your thoughts and for your prayers. But we have a show to do, so why don't we hit that intro, and we're going to get straight into the festivities momentarily.
Because we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. Pain for their disease. Just like a weed.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to a very special edition Thursday stream. We are streaming live on 4 different platforms across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different accounts, and we turning up on a Thursday. If you guys don't already know who I am, well, they call me Mr. Controversy and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. And this is the official rewind for NXT BattleGround, which took place last Sunday on the Peacock, that is. Get your mind out of the gutter, you fucking savages. This past Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time to deliberately counter-program Double or Nothing, but that did not work because the majority of the IWC, rightfully so, we're talking about Double or Nothing. But we did get a third show over the weekend. It was NXT BattleGround, and I am here to dissect everything that went down last Sunday. Not really sure how many people are going to care, but we are going to dissect it anyway. As you can see, I am not alone. He is a fellow wrestling YouTuber, is my guest. He is a lifelong wrestling fan. He is the co-founder of Hardcore Sports and the man that personally recruited your boy to be the head of the wrestling department, because I'm the best in the motherfucking business. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the channel once again, Mr. Mitch Kofsky. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. And I just thought I should rep this out for my man. I thought I should just rep it out for you, bro. You know, the...
Damn right, baby. Damn right. Posse members, baby. Posse members fucking unite. It's what we do.
Yeah.
That's what we do. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate the support. I got a t-shirt waiting for you when you're ready to get your ass up here to one of these ISPW shows.
Hey, I made the logo.
Yeah, I know. This motherfucker wants a cut. I'm working on it. But anyway, we got a lot to get into. First off, we got NXT BattleGround and the overall show that was NXT BattleGround. And I'm going to be quite honest, man. I really didn't expect much from this show. Not because the talent on this show wasn't good. If anything, to me, you know, this kind of looked like one of the weakest NXT premium live events in quite some time. Stand and Deliver actually ended up being disappointing because they did not format that show very well whatsoever. And it was a little overly convoluted. So that show had a lot of hype going into it, and it didn't really deliver like we know it could have with the talent that was on that show. NXT Vengeance Day was a decent wrestling show, but overall nothing too crazy. And the NXT brand, we already know, has been shitting the fucking bed for God knows how long now. NXT easily is the worst show in the entire wrestling industry. I actually have more enjoyment watching Ring of Honor than I do NXT. And Ring of Honor, they're not really doing anything on Ring of Honor because they don't have a pay-per-view to build towards yet. I'm still waiting for them to announce Death Before Dishonor. But regardless of that, this show actually turned out a lot better than I could have anticipated. This show, for the 2 hours and 20 minutes that it went, this was actually a very, very good wrestling show. Probably, if I do say so, probably the best NXT show since Black and Gold died. Now, Black and Gold will always be the standard bearer of pro wrestling. Nothing will ever come close to Black and Gold. It was the greatest wrestling era since the Attitude Era. But at the end of the day, NXT, they banded together, and for 2.5 hours, they gave us a solid pay-per-view to watch with some very good wrestling across the board. The crowd was energetic over in Massachusetts. That was actually more energetic than fucking Las Vegas for Double or Nothing. If there was one thing about Double or Nothing that brought it down, it was the crowd. But Massachusetts, man, they made a show that could have realistically shit the bed. They made a show with characters on it that not many people are invested in, not because they're not great, but because the show on Tuesday sucks. They made what could have been a lackluster show into a very good show. Now, it wasn't a perfect show. We're going to dissect that. But overall, NXT BattleGround, it was not bad whatsoever. And there were a couple matches on this show that was actually there were a couple matches on the show that were actually top tier worthy. Like, you could have taken them off of this pay-per-view. You could have easily put it on an NXT takeover. And we're going to talk about that as we go on. But overall, man, this was actually a very good show. A lot better than expected. What were your thoughts on the overall show?
Honestly, like I said before, I have not seen NXT since Brooklyn. And honestly, I just haven't really been keeping up to it. But as soon as you gave me the opportunity to come on your show to watch this pay-per-view, I had to jump on it. And boy, was I shocked. I didn't think we were going to get this good of a show. 1. 2, in my opinion, I think it's the best wrestling show of the weekend. I know you don't agree to that, right?
That may have been a little bit of a stretch. Like, here's the problem with this show. The main problem with this show was not the talent. It was not the wrestling. The main problem of this show, if we're going to look at one overbearing negative of the show, the overbearing negative of Double or Nothing was the crowd.
Yeah.
But the overbearing negative on this show was probably the timing of the matches. There were 6 matches on this show, and if anything, there were only 2 matches that I felt got the proper amount of time, and it was the Last Man Standing match and the NXT Women's Championship match. Outside of that, the other matches were all very good, but they kind of felt rushed. It really felt like we could have had some of these matches go an extra 5, 6, 7 minutes. And it really wouldn't have made too much of a difference. Instead of clocking out at around 10:19, 10:20, they would have clocked out at around, like 10:45, 10:50? That would have been perfect. That's the biggest negative coming from the show. Other than that, I mean, it was a very good show. It was a very enjoyable watch. And if anything, I would actually say it was a little better than Night of Champions. I would say it was probably the second best wrestling show of the week. Now, the bar has been set very low for NXT. But in the end, everyone showed up to work. I'm not sure what Shawn Michaels was on, but Shawn Michaels, he woke up on the right side of the bed, and he gave us a solid show.
Do you think it had to deal with that Double or Nothing was on the same night? Do you think that had to do it? Pushing the wrestling out, trying to make it the best show possible?
Oh, yeah.
It was on
absolutely.
the same night.
They want to say that, it wasn't counter-programming, but it was fucking counter-programming. It was deliberate. This was a Vince McMahon move right down to a T. And now they're not trying to counter-program anyone. Now they're on their standalone night for the Great American Bash on July 30th, which is fine. That's fine. But it was clearly a deliberate attempt to counter-program Double or Nothing. And if anything, the timing issue could probably be attributed to Double or Nothing as well.
I was just shocked that I watched this because I didn't think I was going to until you offered me to be on your show. And here I am. I did not. I loved it. I thought it was good. Let's get right into it.
So before we get into what we're going to get into here, obviously we need to do our little promotion like we usually do. First things first, Mitch, where can we find you on social media?
So you guys, it's easy. You can find me on social media right here at Mitch Kofsky and at Hardcore Sports Network. We do have a new Twitter now. It's a Hardcore Sports _. So it's Hardcore Sports _ I will still get Further AM to fix your bottom. Get that.
Yeah, talk to him, man.
I'll get that taken care of. Don't worry about that. I got it taken care of. So, yeah, you can find me there and where I tweet and I troll Cowboys fans, I troll Giants fans like this guy over here. But, yeah, let's just do it, man.
Go check out all of his links. They are in the description of this very stream. Please, if you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me at HistoryMakerDJS. That is at HistoryMakerDJS. We are scrolling those right along the bottom ticker right there. You can also add me on Facebook for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. Thank you to Hooligram. Thank you to Sarah Hapka, Butterfly, Raphael, Adam Carl. You guys are great. Earl Cole as well. thank you very much for stopping by and talking wrestling with me and Mitch here on a Thursday evening. I am thankfully off of work tomorrow. I got to get some shit done tomorrow. I got to clean my room. I got to go to the bank. I got to get a haircut. And tomorrow evening at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time in St. Anthony's Church Gym, it is ISPW Brawl for the Bulldogs to benefit the Butler Bulldogs. We have ourselves one solid card. We got ECW legend Tommy Dreamer taking on the Shining Star Ray Kalitri. We got GKM defending the Tri-State title against his former partner, Leo Sparrow. And we got ourselves a new ISPW World Heavyweight Champion. His name is Rick fucking Recon, the King of Rock. He's defending the title for the first time against one of the greatest to ever lace up a pair of boots, and that is the timeless Crowbar. This is all going down tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time in Butler, New Jersey. I will be there. I will be handing out t-shirts and wristbands. I will be recording a vlog. Do not miss it. Also, my vlog for Garrett Mountain Mania for ISPW. That is up on the channel right now. Go and check that out. Please, if you guys missed the rewind for Night of Champions with my man Hoolagrim, who is currently in the chat right now, I believe that link is also in the description. Let me go and double check. I believe it is. Well, we're going to go and double check. We just need to go and double check. I at least hope it is.
I believe it is.
Unfortunately, it's not. Fuck. What the fuck are you laughing at? Either way, go and check that out. Go and check that out because Hoolagrim and myself, we brought a great analytical stance on Night of Champions, which was actually a very solid professional wrestling show on Saturday afternoon. And then we got the rewind for Double or Nothing with Robert of Philly Sports Talk Podcast, which took place on Memorial Day this past Monday. Very good wrestling show, but a terrible fucking crowd. But overall, all three wrestling shows actually gave us something of substance over the weekend, which I was very pleased to see. And in the end, all I care about is a good wrestling show. Please make sure to like the stream wherever you're watching it on, whether it be my personal Facebook, the Posse page, my YouTube, Mitch's YouTube, Hardcore Sports YouTube, Hardcore Sports Twitch, my Twitter, or Hardcore Sports Twitter. We have a very nice wide outreach here on this Thursday evening. We got ourselves the LFU coming to you guys this Saturday at 1 p.m. with your boy DJ Storms, because I got news on more NXT call-ups. I got more news on Bray Wyatt reportedly being pushed to bring back The Fiend, and Vince McMahon is making changes to WWE television remotely, but yet some people want to say that he's not in charge. Fucking retards, all of you. Anyway, on top of that, please make sure that you like the video, no matter where you're watching it from, and subscribe to my channel, subscribe to Mitch's channel, subscribe to the Hardcore Sports YouTube channel. We are this close to 700 subscribers. Do it for Jeff, man. Do it for Jeff. Jeff would have wanted it, and Jeff right now, he's looking down on us. Very proud that we're putting forth the work. It is indeed a grind. We're going to grind it out for Jeffrey Turner. Everything we do for Jeffrey.
Yep.
On top of that, after you hit the subscribe button on either one of those channels, please make sure that you hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace, because that way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, oh, a baby, it is the absolute best time to be on YouTube. You know why? Because it's the only time that you're going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combo. Beautiful mustache right here. Hold on. We're going to light it up for Earl, because Earl Cole's watching. We're going to light it up right here with a little and a dash of and a whole lot of because like fresh chicken parmesan right out of the oven, I am just so good. I'm the tastiest snack in the IWC, and everybody wants a piece of the Stormsmeister. Let me fix this pompadour right here, because, man, this pompadour is on fucking point tonight. Anyway, we are going to get straight into the festivities here. NXT BattleGround from Lowell, Massachusetts. It was actually in a more condensed arena. It was in a smaller arena. It only looked like there was about 3,000 people in the arena, but those 3,000 people were very energetic throughout the entire night, and I will give them credit for a brand that is easily the worst brand in all of wrestling. I'm very happy to see that Lowell, Massachusetts showed up for NXT BattleGround, and they actually made a lot of these matches better than what they were. So the show kicked off with the NXT North American Championship. This was Wesley, Tyler Bate, and Joe Gacy. Triple threat match, as Wesley is now officially the longest reigning NXT North American champion in history. And you know what? He may just be the greatest North American champion that there ever was. And I would not bat at you. I would not holler at you. I would not bat an eye if you do say that, because I truthfully believe that. Now, here's the thing, Mitch. We all know that Tyler Bate is great. We all know that Wesley is great. But I really want to focus in on Joe Gacy here for a minute. I think it goes without saying that Schism sucks. The Schism gimmick is easily one of the worst gimmicks in all of pro wrestling right now. I actually prefer watching Jeff Jarrett on AEW television more so than I do Schism, because at least Jeff Jarrett is entertaining when he wants to be. But Schism is a completely dead fucking group. It's a dead act. The character is fucking trash. I understand that you gotta give something to Joe Gacy that makes him stand out, but it's not making him stand out in a good way. This character has been compared to the old school Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt, more times than I can count, and it's just not hitting. It's not hitting to the degree that they want it to hit. However, I really do believe that we should start putting some respect on Joe Gacy in terms of a pro wrestling aspect, because Joe Gacy was given this opportunity on an NXT premium live event, and this isn't his first go around. He had a very good showcase back at NXT Deadline, but they just didn't do anything with him. Now that he's in there with two of the best, with Tyler Bate and Wesley, he hung in there. He showcased that he is more than capable of carrying himself in a big match scenario. He didn't look out of place whatsoever. And all three of these guys, they meshed together very, very well. If there was one guy that shined the most in this match, it was Joe Gacy. It was Joe Gacy, because realistically, it's just another day at the office for Wesley and Tyler Bate. But Joe Gacy was given the opportunity out of everyone in NXT, out of everyone that they could have chosen. You could have chosen an Axiom, a Von Wagner, a Tony D'Angelo. None of those guys were on this show. None of those guys were on the show whatsoever. But Joe Gacy was chosen in this spot, in this triple threat match. And Joe Gacy, he carried himself very, very well in this match. My only gripe is, like I said, it just kind of felt a little short. Now, they did a lot in this match. For the 12 minutes that this match went, they did a lot, and the crowd was great in this match. All three men did a lot. They worked their asses off, but it feels like they could have gone another 4 or 5 more minutes. If they would have gone another 4 or 5 more minutes, I would have said, you know what? This is NXT TakeOver worthy. But they just ended it rather abruptly. Not to say it was bad. It was a great triple threat match, but it really wasn't anything over the top. But before we get into the specifics, what were your thoughts on this overall match? And what were your thoughts on Joe Gacy's performance as well? Personally, before you say what you're going to say, if they can get Joe Gacy a decent fucking character, then you know what? He has a pretty decent future ahead of him, because the guy can fucking wrestle. The guy can go.
Yeah. So for me, it's funny how you want to start out with Joe Gacy, because I was actually looking at him the most during this match, because I was kind of familiar with Tyler Bate and Wesley, obviously, because the internet, the IWC loves those two guys. So I was scouting Joe Gacy, and I was having a little bit of trouble. Like, what is his character like? Like, again, I have not seen NXT since Brooklyn. So for me, I'm just like trying to study his character and everything, but his wrestling was really up to, I don't know, would you say it's up to par with them, with Tyler Bate and Wesley?
Yeah, he felt like he belonged.
Yeah, you think it was right there? Because I
It
felt
was
like
right
it was
there. Here's the thing. Tyler Bate and Wesley are better than him, but at the end of the day, he showcased to everyone, listen, I may have a shitty gimmick, but if you put me in the ring with someone, I am going to fucking work my ass off, and I'm going to show you that I can fucking hang. And I respect that.
Yeah, I respect that too out of him. And honestly, this was the perfect way for NXT Battleground to start out with. I thought they were going to start out with what was it? With one of the women's matches. I thought they were going to start out with that, but boy, was I wrong. Thank you for giving me this to start. And I'm actually going to watch this again tomorrow since I'm off work as well. So might as well. And I liked it, man. I really did. And I just have one question for you before we go on. Do you see Wes Lee becoming a future WWE champion down the line?
I mean, with the work that he's putting forth, he should absolutely be in that conversation. Guy could be U.S. champion. There's no reason why he should not be doing this on the main roster with either the IC or the United States Championship. He has made and if there's one thing, here's one thing that I've always stated. Ever since the reboot of NXT, it has sucked. But if there's one consistently positive thing throughout NXT, even throughout Unicorn Seaman 2.0 into this new era, it is the NXT North American Championship title scene. Every single NXT North American Championship match that we've gotten ever since the reboot, that has been the most consistent thing on the show. The NXT North American title division right now is probably the hottest thing in NXT. And with Wesley leading the charge, I'm telling you, man, he's made that title into the championship. Matter of fact, that title has actually looked better than the NXT championship. Not to say that Carmelo Hayes is not doing a good job. He's doing a great job. But if I'm going to pick an A championship, it's the North American Championship, dude. Wesley is on fucking point with everything that he does. So we had the crowd was very hot for this match. Joe Gacy, right out of the gate, I believe it was like 90 seconds into the match, Joe Gacy came in hot with a huge dive over the top rope onto Bate and Wesley on the floor. So Gacy hit a beautiful Northern Lights bomb. That got a 2 count. Hot action out of the gate. Bate came in with an exploder suplex for Lee and one for Gacy as well. We had a little bop and a bang on Gacy. Bate then went for the airplane spin on Gacy, and then he grabbed Wesley's legs, and he's done this before, but it's still impressive to see a guy his size do this shit, a guy his size with such strength. Tyler Bate did a giant swing on Wesley and an airplane spin on Gacy, and the crazy part about it is he had the heavier guy on his shoulders while doing it, which made it even more impressive. Still never ceases to amaze me. So Bate then with a slingshot lariat, Gacy caught Lee, and he powerbombed Wesley through the air into Tyler Bate. Another great spot by Gacy. Gacy then with a reverse DDT Uranagi combo, and then he locked in a Rings of Saturn on Wesley. He let it go because Tyler Bate came into the match, and he locked in a Rings of Saturn on Tyler Bate too. Gacy was in firm control before Lee came in. He saved the match. Crowd was really getting into it. Bate and Gacy went for their handspring moves. They hit each other. Wesley with a handspring double Pele kick. The crowd was on fire, like I said. Lee covered both men. Both men kicked out. Gacy then cannonballed Lee into the corner while Lee was on his shoulders. Gacy went for the pin, and Tyler Bate broke it up with a beautiful spiral tap on the both men. Tyler Driver 97 on Gacy. I thought Tyler Bate was going to win the title, but Lee saved the match. Lee then does his best Ricochet impersonation and dives over the top rope, over the post, onto Tyler Bate on the outside. Bate was taken out. In the ring, we had a Uranagi by Gacy. He was going for the upside down frown, I believe he calls it, which is the handspring into a lariat. And as he was coming back for the lariat, Wesley catches him with a cardiac kick right on the money, which is one of my favorite moves in NXT right now. Beautiful cardiac kick. And Wesley retains the NXT North American Championship in a great match. The only downside to it, it did feel like it went a little too short. It did feel like they could have done a little bit more. Now, for the 12 minutes that it went, great match. Great match. And you know what? I'm going to say it right now. Joe Gacy is a stud, and I think we should start putting some respect on his name. Wesley was always going to retain. No reason why he was going to lose. Wesley right now, he is the longest reigning NXT North American champion in its history, and I could not be more happy for him. I'm actually a little surprised, just like Sarah in the chat. Yeah, I am surprised that Wesley didn't get called up. But you know what? Wesley right now, he is doing God's work with the NXT North American Championship. Every single individual he has faced, put on fucking bangers with. And right now, I can't really pick an individual that could take it off of him. Now that we got Ali in NXT, Ali showed up on Tuesday. He wasn't the only main roster star that showed up on NXT, but Ali in NXT, that's a huge W. And if you're asking me, he would be a perfect candidate to take the NXT North American Championship off of Wesley. But I other than that, I really don't know who's going to take that title off him. It's an open field. And right now, Wesley, he's really made a name for himself. This title reign has really catapulted Wesley into another stratosphere. And coming out of MSK and how we all thought that Wesley was just going to be dead, boy, did Wesley prove us all wrong. He took the ball and he fucking ran with it. And I could not be happier for Wesley. Wesley, he is doing a phenomenal job. He's a special kind of talent. He really is. And when he gets called up, there's no excuse why he shouldn't be doing this with either the United States or the Intercontinental Championship. So what were your thoughts on this ending? And who can you see taking the NXT North American title off of Wesley, and how soon?
I was just about to ask you, when do you think it's going to be taken off? But I'm good.
I don't know. Maybe the Great American Bash on July 30th. That's a possibility, but I don't know, man. His title reign is so good right now, I almost don't want it to end.
I don't either. I mean, could you see it possibly going to like the SummerSlam time? Or is that the
Well, there really isn't a pay-per-view around SummerSlam time. Like, literally, Great American Bash is a week before SummerSlam.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to have to watch that. Definite. But,
I mean, if Wesley's on the card, absolutely you got to watch it.
Oh, yeah, of course. That guy just like, he amazes me what he did there. But for how long?
They could take it to a year.
I was just about to say, could they take it to like WrestleMania 40?
I mean, like, that would be a year and a half. But, I mean, yeah, they could take it that long. It just depends on who they have lined up for him. Yeah, I mean, you got Axiom in there. You got Nathan Fraser in there. You got Von Wagner in there. You got who else? Mustafa Ali's in there. You got some other guys that are coming up through the rankings as well. They got a lot of talent in there. That's for sure.
They do, but it's just like which one?
I don't know, man. It seems as though like everyone is fighting to try and get on Wesley's level.
No one can be on his level. That's how goddamn good he is.
You're right. Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
Let me ask you this. Would you compare Wesley to Seth Rollins' run in NXT?
I mean, it's up there, but I'm telling you, I think that Wesley is like the second coming of Ricochet.
Okay. I can see that.
He really is. He really is. But a great match. Other than that, I mean, it just felt like it went too short. It felt like it could have gone another 5 more minutes. I mean, what about you? Do you feel as though it went the proper amount of time? Could they have gone longer?
Honestly, why go 5 minutes? I would have gave it 10 more.
Yeah, I would have given it 10 more too.
Like, it was that damn good.
I would have absolutely given him 10 more minutes. But for the 12 minutes that it went, it was a great match. I would say it was probably the second or third best match of the night.
Yeah. I think it will be second. You and I have a different best match of the night, but
so from there we go into Dragon Lee versus Noam Dar for the NXT Heritage Cup. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar with the Heritage Cup matches are contested differently. There are 6 3-minute rounds with a 20-minute break in between. If you are disqualified or if you are knocked out, then the match is over. But you need to win at least 2 falls or at least survive to the time limit. If it's tied, then they go to overtime. But at the end of the day, That is the basis of the NXT Heritage Cup rules, which is pretty much British rounds rules. Now, I'm going to be quite honest here.
Mm-hmm.
The Heritage Cup rules, the British rounds rules, it's not necessarily all too favorable. It's not necessarily going to be an easy thing to get used to. I've seen a lot of British rounds matches because I watched NXT UK religiously. And I'm still really not too used to them because it really makes it feel like UFC. And I hate UFC. UFC sucks. I really don't understand the whole hoopla with UFC, other than people are going to go out and say, oh, it's real. It's real. I don't give a fuck if it's real. It's boring. UFC is fucking boring. I could literally watch a YouTube video of two high schoolers fist fighting, and it would be no different than UFC. UFC is boring. UFC is fucking boring. So it's going to take a little bit of time to get used to these British rounds rules. But I will say this. This match was fine. It was a fun little match, but it was probably the second worst match of the night. Not to say that it was a bad match, but it's just not too favorable in terms of the stipulation. And then the 3-minute rounds, 6 at a time, and you got to stop and you got to start. I will say this: Dragon Lee and Noam Dar, they worked very well together. They did mesh very well together. I did not know how Noam Dar was going to mesh with this current crop of NXT talent. And Dragon Lee, considering that he's mainly a luchador. He is a luchador, and he works the luchador kind of style. Noam Dar kind of works the ground-based and a little bit of strong style. But at the end of the day, these two actually matched up fairly decently together. And for the 12 minutes that this went, this wasn't a bad match at all. The one thing that I will say is Noam Dar, I think he is very, very underrated. The character can be annoying. And his promos can really, really, really fucking be annoying. But at the end of the day, I think that Noam Dar is a very, very good wrestler, and he actually matched up very well with Dragon Lee. So it was a very technical first round. There were a couple of kicks being dodged left and right, some nice counters. The crowd were actually showing appreciation to it, which I'm happy about. We had a big drop kick by Wesley, and round one expired. No falls were scored. Then all of a sudden, we had Oro Mensah come out, and he was supporting Noam Dar, while Nathan Fraser was supporting Dragon Lee. And it looks like Noam Dar has got himself a little entourage. I'm not sure if that's going to favor too well, but at the end of the day, he's got a little entourage. We'll see where that goes with Oro Mensah. So we had this second round. Lee came in with a Hurricane Rana. And then we had Lee getting quickly rolled up by Noam Dar, and Noam Dar actually got the first fall. The round expired. Round 3, Lee was on the defense. Lee came back with a super kick, came off the top rope. He dove off the top rope. If you guys remember from NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4, I was there live in attendance for that show, and it was Adam Cole and Ricochet for the NXT North American Championship, and Ricochet dove over the top rope with a Hurricane Rana off the apron to Adam Cole. That's exactly what Dragon Lee did right here. Exactly what Dragon Lee did right here for his match with Noam Dar. That was awesome. Mm-hmm. So back in the ring, we had a tope suicida by Lee, a big V-trigger, but Noam Dar was able to kick out, and round 3 expired. Dar then hit a back elbow on Wesley, a little cheap shot. In round 4, Dar went on the attack. Dar went for an arm bar. Dar then with a crescent kick and a nice Texas cloverleaf as well. So again, Noam Dar, he's very good when it comes to mat wrestling. Dar then got to the ropes. Mensah then took out Fraser. Dragon Lee then with a standing sliced bread, and Dragon Lee was able to tie it up off the standing sliced bread. Fraser then came in, dove over the ropes to take out Oro Mensah. Round 5 began, and Dar locked in an ankle lock on Wesley, Dragon Lee. Lee then got to the apron, and he was going for the apron Hurricane Rana again, and Dar caught him with a power bomb, and Dragon Lee went fucking splat. I was actually shocked. Very, very shocked that Dragon Lee did not come out with an injury here. But Dragon Lee went fucking splat. Dar then with a back elbow for a 2. Lee then with a snap German suplex, a big knee, and a beautiful sit-out powerbomb for a 2. All of a sudden, Zakara Jackson distracted the referee, and then Lash Legend came in and hit Dragon Lee with a bucket. Noam Dar then hit the Nova Roller, and Noam Dar retains the Heritage Cup Championship. A fun match. They worked very well, and they actually made do with the British rounds rules. But, dude, I'm going to tell you this right now. This was the wrong outcome. This was the wrong outcome. Listen, Noam Dar is very good, but I don't really think that he's as over with the NXT audience as he should be. He just got to NXT US. He's been in NXT UK, and he's been making his name there. He just got to NXT US. So as of right now, he needs to really establish himself and spend some time down there to get over. Dragon Lee, however, he's ready for the spotlight now. He's ready for the spotlight now, and he should have been the one to come out victorious here. And with Dragon Lee winning, this could have opened up the door for numerous amounts of matches with a lot of top-tier talent. And now that you got Ali in NXT, and Ali versus Dragon Lee match for the NXT Heritage Cup, that would have been a fantastic, fantastic fucking matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, if I'm going to be quite honest, dude, I'm just going to throw it out there. Dragon Lee has been handled very, very poorly. Dragon Lee's booking has been very, very poor. He's taken more losses. He's taken a lot more losses than he's gotten wins. And that's actually kind of pathetic if we're going to be quite honest. A guy like Dragon Lee should realistically be at the top of the card, and he should be winning matches as consistently as possible. I think Noam Dar is very good, but dude, this was the wrong outcome. Dragon Lee, this should have been an easy victory for Dragon Lee. No questions asked. Out of all the matches on the show, this was the one that had the wrong outcome. But let me hear what you got to say.
So for me, you know what kind of bothers me is that Dragon Lee kept on getting stopped by the ref in the momentum. That just kills me because we got a good story. Dragon Lee's doing his thing, right? And then can't go anymore. It's just like, bro, I'm like, come on.
Those are the rules of the stipulation.
I know it is, but it's just like, God dang. I've been watching so many like YouTube videos online about this match, and they were like, oh, that's the whole story. He doesn't know the rules and stuff like that. I'm like, come on, really? Nah, come on. This match was terrible. If I had to give it a grade, the outcome and everything, I'm gonna keep it honest. D+.
I wouldn't say it's a D+. The match was fine. It was probably one of the worst matches of the night, but it wasn't necessarily a bad match. But the fact that the British rounds rules aren't really too familiar and we need to get used to them, combined with the fact that this match had the wrong outcome, that kind of left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. But it looks like this feud is continuing. And listen, if we do get a rematch, there should be no question. Dragon Lee needs to win the rematch. And we really need to start getting Dragon Lee on the right track. Unless they plan on having Dragon Lee either beat Wesley or Carmelo Hayes down the line. If that's the case, then I understand why he lost. But if you're asking me, if he was ultimately going to lose this match, then you shouldn't have put him in that scenario. You should have kept him separate, and you should have kept him on the winning side of things rather than taking a loss here. Yes, I get it. I get it that he belongs on the pay-per-view, but if you're just going to have him take a loss and then ultimately go and challenge for another title, it doesn't really make too much sense. If you were going to have Dar win, you should have put him against someone that could have easily have taken a loss and have been okay with it. But Dragon Lee, dude, his booking's been very, very poor.
This whole booking thing with Dragon Lee, which I have a buddy who keeps up to date with NXT, and then he goes, Mitch, what they're doing to Dragon Lee right now, it is terrible. He's one of the best wrestlers.
He's putting on great matches, but he's losing.
That's exactly what my friend told me. And he's like, what are they going to do with Dragon Lee now? And I'm like, bro, Maybe they got another option for him. I don't know. Wait and see. But it's just tough to see for Dragon Lee getting booked like this. And the matches are good. Getting tired of it, man.
It really did not sit well with me at all. And I really do hope that they do know where they're going with Dragon Lee, because he is way too good to be on the losing end of things. He lost at Stand and Deliver. He lost at BattleGround. He lost to JD McDonough. And JD McDonough was on his way out of NXT.
Mm-hmm.
From there, we got ourselves the match of the show. Ilya Dragunov and Dijak, last man standing match. If there was one match on this show that I would highly encourage you all to go out of your way to watch, it would be this last man standing match. Now, this wasn't a last man standing match that was crazy or over the top. It really wasn't a last man standing match that had an abundance of weapons in them, but the story that they told here was very, very nice. The story that they told here was probably the best told story of the entire night, with Dragunov being the man that enjoys pain, that wants pain because it makes him feel alive, and Dijak being a guy that loves to fucking inflict pain. So Dragunov, being the glutton for punishment that he is, yeah, let's do a fucking last man standing match and let's beat the shit out of each other. And these are two black and gold individuals, right down to the very last letter. Dragunov and Dijak, two black and gold individuals, right down to their dying breath. These guys were going to go in there, and they were absolutely going to tear each other to shreds. And that's exactly what they did. And we got ourselves an excellent last man standing match. It did go a little short, I will say that, but they gave him just enough time to put on an excellent match and ultimately steal the whole show. So this started out pretty intense. I mean, of course it fucking did. Dijak brought in some steps. Dijak then booted Dragunov in the face as he was coming off of the steps. Then he suplexed Dragunov on the steps, did Dijak. Dragunov took some hard fucking bumps on these steps. So Dragunov then saw an opening. Dijak brought out a table. Dragunov headbutted himself through the fucking table to take out Dijak. I don't think I've ever seen that before. So from there, Dragunov then came in with an enziguri. Dragunov was then locking in a sleeper hold on Dijak, and then Dijak held onto the ropes and flung Dragunov back, and his head bounced like a fucking basketball off of the bottom half of the steel steps, which were in the ring. From there, after that nasty-looking bump, Dragunov then DDT'd Dijak on the steps. Dragunov drove the steps into Dijak's face. Dragunov then set up the steps like Shane O'Mac does a chair and delivered coast to coast with the steps. That looked awesome. So Dijak beat the count. Dijak hit a super kick on Dragunov. Dragunov with some chops. The crowd was chanting, "This is awesome." Big German suplex by Dragunov. Dijak hyped himself up and delivered a choke slam to Dragunov on the apron. Dijak was then pissed. Then Dragunov kept on getting back up. He hit Feast Your Eyes. Dragunov hung onto the ropes to get up. Dijak then took a kendo stick. Dragunov was bleeding right underneath his eye, and Dragunov was refusing to stay down. Dijak was saying, "What is it going to take? Why don't you just stay the fuck down?" So Dijak whipped Dragunov. Dragunov just would not stay down. Dijak then brought in a chair. Dragunov then with Torpedo Moscow, and then the chair was on the floor. Dragunov went on top of the steps and delivered a jumping forearm off of the steps to the back of Dijak's head, and Dijak's face went straight into the chair. And Dijak, he was out cold. He did not get back up. Dragunov got to his feet. This was an awesome fucking match. And after that, man, I don't see how Dragunov does not challenge Carmelo Hayes. If you're not going to have him challenge Carmelo Hayes, then there's no doubt in my mind Dragunov should absolutely be the guy to defeat Wes Lee for the NXT North American Championship. Although there was some rumors that either Dijak or Dragunov could be getting a main roster call-up. And if that's the case, if Dragunov's going to get a main roster call-up, then he could possibly be the opponent for Carmelo Hayes at Great American Bash. Because I can't see it being Baron fucking Corbin. That ain't going to fucking draw anything. I can't see it being Baron Corbin. But I can see Dragunov potentially getting the opportunity, and Dragunov is the one to ultimately do the job for Carmelo Hayes at the Great American Bash, and then Dragunov is called up after SummerSlam. That would probably be the best possible scenario if Dragunov is indeed getting called up. But if not, if he's not getting called up, then I would absolutely have him beat Wes Lee. Wes Lee and Dragunov, take all my fucking money, man. Take all my fucking money. But I know that you got a lot to say about this match, so the floor is indeed yours. Give us your expertise analysis on what was an awesome last man standing match.
This was definitely an awesome last standing match. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Prayers up to Jeff. I see all of you. Thank you for your kind words. Jeff is watching over us right now. So with that being said, this match, I told you this before, the best match of the weekend. I think it's better than both of those main events at AEW just because of the story god dang telling. And people are just like, Mitch, what about this spot? I get DMs, bro, about like this spot, that spot, that spot. I'm like, these spots are nice. They're good. But when it comes to story, I feel like this was the best storytelling. You agree?
I mean, I get what you're saying, but if you're asking me, I mean, I would put Anarchy in the Arena at number one, or the Pillars Fatal 4-Way. I mean, the work that those individuals in both of those matches did, it's impossible for me to sit here and say, yeah, those matches didn't steal the weekend. I would say this was probably, it was in the top five. It was in the top five because you do have to take into account Night of Champions too. But in the end, easily the match of the show. I get what you're saying, but I'm still going with one of the two main events at Double or Nothing for the match of the whole weekend. But these two definitely showed up to work.
That's fair. Just the chemistry of these two was insane. And again, it's just like, these are the kind of matches that I would love to see over and over and over again. Just because of the storytelling. I'm a huge fan of this. Huge fan. Ever since the entrance, telling the husband, take the kid and wife out. They don't want to see this. Starting from there to the end, gold. I love it.
So let me ask you. Well, first off, Dijak, he's definitely had a career resurgence since coming back to NXT. Dijak, in just 3 months, has delivered to us 2 fantastic fucking matches that could easily, if we're looking at NXT alone, if we're looking at just NXT, Dijak has delivered to us 2 NXT Match of the Year candidates, one with Wes Lee and one with Dragunov, that could easily main event any fucking show on any given day of the week. But here's the question. Where do both of these men go afterwards?
Again, it's just like there's so much talent. They could go anywhere. Like, that's what I feel like the NXT roster is a little bit, what is that word? Packed. Do you agree with that?
Well, the roster's great. It's just the booking that sucks.
Yeah, but I feel like there's so many different avenues that they can go. It's just like, okay, where's the next one? Is it this guy? Is it that guy? I'm like,
Dragunov may be a little bit easier to predict. It's either North American title, NXT title, or main roster call-up.
I don't think it's main roster call-up. Give me Wes Lee. I want to see that.
So you see Dragunov beating Wes Lee at Great American Bash.
I can see that. I don't know about you, but I can see it.
It's just very, very hard for me to see Dragunov not going after Hayes again, especially since fucking Baron Corbin, unless he brings back the Lone Wolf, Baron Corbin is now targeting the NXT Championship, and he's been dead ever since he got rid of the Lone Wolf gimmick. We'll see, but I mean, the field is definitely open for Ilya Dragunov, and this match with Dijak, fantastic fucking stuff. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And definitely a match that I would highly encourage everyone to go out of their way to watch.
Yep, agreed.
Confirmed for July 30th, NXT Great American Bash Premium Live Event, and I'm actually happy that they are using these names. We got Vengeance Day, we got BattleGround, and the Great American Bash. I'm glad that they're using these as premium live events. I actually think that it's a very, very, very good layout for NXT, and overall, we could actually get some solid shows overall going forward. And I think that if they keep that format, you got Vengeance Day, you got Stand and Deliver, you got BattleGround, you got Great American Bash, you got Halloween Havoc, and you got Deadline. 6 pay-per-views for NXT throughout the year. That right there is a very good format going forward for the brand. We go into the NXT Tag Team Championship match. This is the Creed brothers, Julius and Brutus, versus Gallus. This is Mark Coffey and Wolfgang. I will tell you this, though. One thing is for sure, the NXT Tag Team division is probably their weakest point. That is their weakest point for sure. Realistically, the only individuals to invest your time in are these two teams. Outside of the Creed brothers and Gallus, there really isn't many individuals to invest your time in because they haven't really put a focus on tag team wrestling. And with Gallus in there, you kind of just have Gallus as this top-tier faction on a mountaintop, and no one is on their level. It's almost like the Bloodline coming out of WrestleMania 38 last year, because the Bloodline coming out of WrestleMania 38 last year, they were just on a mountain of omnipotence all unto themselves with no one to be the yin to their yang. And now with Gallus is pretty much in that same boat. The only team that I could possibly see standing up to them, and I actually see this happening at the Great American Bash, is Tony D'Angelo and Stax. Tony D'Angelo and Stax are going to be the team to take the titles off of Gallus, and they should do that at the Great American Bash on July 30th. That is going to be a big moment for D'Angelo and Stax. This match, the shortest match of the night, it was only 9.5 minutes, didn't even go 10 minutes. I will say this, though. This was the best that the Creed brothers have looked in many, many months. The Creed brothers have been placed in these terrible fucking storylines. They've pretty much been put on the back burner. They've pretty much been placed in a scenario where they're just background players to Ivy Nile. They didn't really hit like they once hit coming out of NXT In Your House when they actually won the tag team titles from Pretty Deadly. And I was actually kind of pissed off that we had Damon Kemp turn on them and then just end their tag team title reign within 3 months? I mean, it was kind of stupid. It's kind of stupid to take the tag team titles off of them just to put them on Pretty Deadly, just to put them on the New Day. Now that they're on Gallus, I'm glad that they're starting to establish those tag team titles because Gallus is great. But the Creed brothers, they really fell off. They fell off a lot. But this was the best that I think I've seen the Creed brothers in many, many months. And they had Gallus to work with, and Gallus is fantastic. Gallus right now is easily the best faction in NXT. No one is touching them. And right now, Gallus is really making those NXT tag team titles. Once they lose them, it's gonna be very, very tough considering how weak that division is. It's gonna be very, very tough for whoever beats Gallus to stand toe-to-toe and really make that division mean something because there pretty much is no division. There really is no division. But this was a solid match. The shortest match of the night, probably the weakest match of the night, but it was still a solid tag team match. The crowd was actually pretty lively, considering that this match was kind of in the death spot. This match was actually in the death spot coming out of that great last man standing match. I didn't think the crowd was going to have much energy, but they did. They did, and props to Massachusetts for doing so. So, Creed brothers were in control. Brutus came in with an axe handle onto Mark Coffey. Creed brothers were actually very smooth in the early going. So, one thing I've noticed, the Creed brothers are definitely getting better at their mat wrestling. They're definitely evolving a bit in the ring. They're getting more comfortable. They're slowly morphing into in-ring tag team leaders. And that right there is a great thing to see. It's a slow process. They'll get there. Some may say they're a little green, but they are doing very well for themselves as of right now. So Gallus took over. Gallus with some nice double team moves. Brutus fought back, tagged to Julius, and Julius with a lot. He did about 6 or 7 belly to bellies in a row. One on Mark, one on Wolfgang, one on Mark, one on Wolfgang. And he actually got the crowd to pop. So he did that about 6 or 7 times. Tagged to Brutus. Julius with a standing shooting star press. Brutus then with a standing moonsault, which looked very, very nice, 4-2. So they're mixing it up a bit. Julius then with a standing shooting star press, like I said. Double Uranagi by Gallus on Julius. Brutus then with the Brutus ball coming off of the top rope onto Gallus. Very nice spot. We had a 4-way standoff. Everyone was punching everyone. We had a rolling slam by Julius. Joe then came in, and Joe Coffey was taken out by Julius. All of a sudden, Ivy Nile was taken out by Ava Rain of the Schism because they've been having problems on NXT. Gallus then came in, and they hit a running Busaiku knee into a flapjack combination, and it was Gallus that ended up retaining the tag team titles. Right outcome, but along with the first match, along with the main event, along with the British Rounds match, this match felt like a match that easily could have gone another 5-10 more minutes. I was really enjoying what these two teams were doing. And if they would have given them another 5-10 more minutes, then this would have probably been match of the night if they wanted to, or at least it would have given the last man standing match a run for its money. But in the end, it was just decent. It was just kind of there. It was solid, but it really wasn't anything that I'm going to tell you, yeah, you got to go out of your way to rewatch it. No, it really didn't. It really didn't do anything other than establish the fact that, hey, these two teams can wrestle, and Gallus right now is the leader of the tag team division, and they're not losing the championships until they get to Tony D'Angelo and Stacks. That's pretty much all this match did. Solid match, but in the end, Gallus, they were never losing those tag team titles. Gallus right now is holding those tag team titles for D'Angelo and Stacks at the Great American Bash. Mitch Kofsky, what say you?
Basically everything you just said. I mean, this match was good. Was it like a what is the word I'm thinking of? Class? Superstar class? No. Was it like a memorable match? No. It just, to me, it was like sort of a time filler that was kind of entertaining, if that makes sense. So if
they were doing fine, it just ended too quick. They were doing fine, and that could be said for a lot of matches here. They were doing just fine, and then they just ended it. It's kind of like the same thing that WWE did with Cody and Lesnar back at Backlash. It was going fine, and then they just ended it and kind of took all that momentum away.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of match, if I missed it, I don't know if I would have watched it back. I mean, it is what it is.
But here's the thing. Where can you see the Creed brothers going? And where can you see Gallus going? Do you see that match with Tony and Stacks happening at Great American Bash? And if so, where do the Creed brothers go after that?
This is actually the one match where I thought it would be easy to predict where they can go. So, exactly what you just said, and then where the Creed brothers go, for me, it's just like...
It's got to be main roster call-up. They've done it.
It's got to be at this point. I mean, where? SummerSlam?
I don't know. I don't know. I would like to believe so. The only thing that I can see them doing is if we get another match with the Creed brothers challenging for the tag team titles after D'Angelo and Stacks win them, then ultimately they're going to lose and then they get called up. There's nothing left for them to do. And they need tag teams on the main roster.
Yeah. But here's the thing with the main roster. Are they going to use them right?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
I'm just going to say no right out of the gate.
I mean, we do have Balor and Priest. They're on the right track. Sami and Kevin Owens, they're on the right track. JD McDonough is looking to join. He's looking to join the Judgment Day. Cameron Grimes has been winning matches. It's still early on, but I don't know.
I mean, look how long it took for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I mean, they were like up and down, up and down. Now they're on an all-time high. Just wait for Vince McMahon. Snap of the fingers. Gone.
Oh, Lord. Why
You
can't
know I'm right there.
Vince just fucking croak already? Holy shit.
You know I'm right there.
Yeah. Jay Storms is never wrong, but unfortunately, Mitch Kofsky has, he's got me there. Hands are tied.
All right, I'm
But
going to clip that and put it on Twitter.
no, you're not.
Yes, I
No, you're
am.
not. Because if you do, I'm leaving hardcore sports.
Okay.
Okay. So you will do nothing of the sort. But let me ask you this. Where can you see Gallus going? It's got to be D'Angelo and Stacks. It's got to be.
Gotta be. What other options are there?
You can do Andre Chase University as an interim feud, but it's got to be D'Angelo and Stacks at Great American Bash. They've beaten every other team. They've beaten the Creeds. They've beaten Schism. They've beaten the New Day. They've beaten Pretty Deadly. They've beaten everybody.
Is it possible of like a WWE tag team, I don't know who, for them to go down to NXT and challenge them in a Great American Bash?
If we get that, I wouldn't mind it. But who? Who?
Why am I keep on thinking the New Day, but they were just there?
They were just there.
I
Fuck the
know.
New Day.
Alpha Academy?
They got to break up. I'm waiting for them to fucking break up.
I'm waiting for the New Day. I'm waiting for Alpha Academy to break up.
No. Alpha Academy, no. They stay together because they are now baby faces and they're going to get over big time as baby faces.
Yeah, but Chad Gable's so good on his own, bro.
You can still do singles action with Chad Gable, but you got to keep them together.
Dude.
Unless they're bringing back Tucker Knight and they're going to reform Heavy Machinery, we are keeping the Alpha Academy together. Thank you.
I'm saying this. The best thing of Chad Gable was the whole thing with Jason Jordan before Jason Jordan.
Yeah. Yep. Sucks. Really does suck. But I want to see Alpha Academy win the tag team titles. If there's one team to take it off of Kevin Owens, if it's not Imperium, give me Alpha Academy.
It's going to be Imperium, I feel like. I feel like it's going to be Imperium to make the faction even more of a something.
I hope it's not too early though, because I want to see them hold those titles for a little bit.
What do you mean?
Because like the earliest would probably be SummerSlam, and that's only a 4-month reign for them.
Okay, then Survivor Series.
I can handle that. Yeah, that's fine. If they want to do Imperium versus Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, something along those lines, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind that.
They're going to interfere in SummerSlam, which I've been hearing is going to be Roman Reigns versus one of the Usos, and the other one being a special guest referee.
That's going to be at Money in the Bank, right?
I thought that was going to be at SummerSlam. Maybe you're right at Money in the Bank.
I mean, if that's going to be at Money in the Bank, then if you ask me, it should be Jimmy Uso, and then Jimmy Uso loses and Roman beats down Jimmy so badly that Jay finally joins his brother's side. Cody needs to win Money in the Bank. Cody cashes in at SummerSlam, and that's the moment where Solo Sikoa finally takes the spike and just stabs Roman right in the jugular, and that's the end of Roman Reigns.
Why do I feel like Solo Sikoa would beat Roman Reigns? Why do I feel like that?
If he's going to beat Roman, but it's not going to be for a title match. If that match is to take place, that should be Roman's farewell match at WrestleMania 40 before he goes to Hollywood.
Yeah.
And Solo Sikoa is established.
Mm-hmm. He's my favorite out of everyone. He's my favorite.
Oh, yeah. Solo Sikoa right now is the best member out of the entire bloodline.
Yep.
Best member out of the bloodline. Mm-hmm. Speaking of the best, Tiffany Stratton, who is the best NXT female as of right now, and she has the hardware to prove it. She took on Lyra Valkyria in the finals of the NXT Women's Championship Tournament. This was the co-main event. I'm going to throw a fast one out there, and we were actually talking about this. Before we went live. I'm going to throw it out there that this was the best overall women's match of the entire weekend. Mm-hmm. Not to say that Jade and Taya was bad, not to say that Trish and Becky was bad, not to say that Asuka and Bianca was bad, but these two individuals, they went out there and they really told a very nice story. And another thing I want to give props to is Tiffany Stratton. Yep. Her first singles match on an NXT Premium Live event, and it's for the NXT Women's Championship. She did not fuck up once. She looked great in there. She looked like she's been doing this for at least 5 to 10 years.
Yep.
Tiffany Stratton, the progression of Tiffany Stratton has been such a pleasure to watch, and I could not be any more happy for her that she is the NXT Women's Champion. This should have happened at Stand and Deliver. If we were going to get what we got with Indy Hartwell, this should have happened at Stand and Deliver. The fact that it didn't, fucking stupid. Indy Hartwell's NXT Women's title reign was a waste of time. Waste of everybody's time. Should have been Tiffany Stratton if you were going to take the title off of Roxanne Perez. Or how about you keep the title on Roxanne, and how about you give us Roxanne versus Tiffany Stratton at BattleGround? But that's too smart for these individuals. You see, that's why I'm above the rest. There's DJ Storms, and then there's everyone else.
Don't forget me. I'm above them too. God dang.
Well, I mean, you're number 2 or number 3. I mean, Earl and you share the number 2 spot.
Oh, come on. And so I'm the New York Giants.
New York Giants are more like number 37. They're down there. Listen, I'm a Giants fan. I've been a Giants fan ever since 2010. But at the end of the day, they really need to get their shit together. They really do. They really. It's fucking unbelievable. I will say this: I'm very happy for the Kansas City Chiefs who beat the Philadelphia Eagles at the Super Bowl this year. They had the lead and they blew it. Chiefs Kingdom. What was I gonna say? NXT Women's Title match.
Bastard.
What?
You heard me.
I know I didn't actually. What did you say?
Bastard.
Yeah, I am. I'm the dirtiest bastard in the game, man. I'm DJ Storms. What do you expect?
Why do you
But
think I got
NXT
you
Women's
here?
Title match. NXT Women's Title match. This was a very, very good match. Easily the best women's match of the weekend. These two, they told a great story. If you were to take this and you were to put this on an NXT TakeOver, it would not look out of place either. These two showed you exactly what women's wrestling is all about. The future is bright in NXT. Lyra Valkyria, I've been a fan of her ever since NXT UK, and her match with Meiko Satomura, fucking great match that was. Tiffany Stratton, the progression of Tiffany Stratton, it's been a pleasure to watch. And like I said, I could not be more happy for her now that she is the NXT Women's Champion. So we had some very quick counters early on. Valkyria started favoring her left knee. So we got a story developing in the match. So Valkyria, very nice underhook arm drags. She was very agile in this match. Valkyria, she remained in control. Stratton then tripped up Valkyria on the apron, and she crushed her knee against the post, and she took over. Stratton then with a nice Muda lock. It looked great, by the way. First time I've ever seen Tiffany Stratton do a Muda lock. She has worked so fucking hard on her craft, and she has busted her ass to be the best that she could possibly be. Awesome stuff there by Stratton. So from there, Stratton off the Muda lock. Valkyria got out of it, and she delivered a missile drop kick. She started to mount the comeback with a Northern Lights suplex combination, a nice barrage, and a nice enziguri by Valkyria. Valkyria, by the way, Valkyria hits hard. That's what I want to see out of a women's wrestler. I want to see a woman that goes in there and fucking beats the shit out of other women. That's women's wrestling. So Valkyria then with a nice wrecking ball drop kick, diving crossbody off the apron. Stratton then rolled through on a diving crossbody in the ring. Valkyria then with a crucifix bomb for a 2. Valkyria was caught in a tree of woe. Stratton with a drop kick right to the gut. Twisting Vader bomb for a 2. Stratton with a stiff, and I mean a stiff, basement drop kick. That got a 2. Stratton went for a handspring elbow, but Valkyria caught her and delivered a beautiful release German suplex. She went for a spin kick, but the knee gave way. Stratton went for the rolling senton, and then she went for the prettiest moonsault ever. She did not get it. Valkyria with the spin kick. Stratton got her foot on the rope. Both women were up top. Stratton reversed a powerbomb into a Hurricane Rana. Rolling senton, prettiest moonsault ever. And Stratton wins the NXT Women's Championship as she should in what was a very good women's match. And easily, to me, the second best match of the entire night, and the best women's match of the entire weekend. Very, very good stuff here between both women. And Lyra Valkyria, listen, I think that Lyra Valkyria is going to be a great hand in the women's division, and she will be NXT Women's Champion. But right now, it is indeed Tiffy time. It could be Tiffy time any day for me. Yo, Tiffany, if you want to come up to Jersey, I would love a bit of Tiffy time. I'll take you into the eye of the storm, honey. Anyway, I'm going to hand it over to Mitch Kofsky. You're close. You're close. Mitch knows what I'm talking about. It could be Tiffy time anytime for him, too. But anyway, I'm going to throw it over to Mitch. What were your thoughts on this match, and what can you see in the near future for Tiffany Stratton with the NXT Women's title?
With the oh my God. Fucking asshole. But
come on, man. This is why I'm the best in the business. Nobody does it like me.
Fucking hell. With Tiffany, right? With Tiffany, it was the right outcome. She's on a skyrocket right now. But here's the thing. Why do I feel like they're going to shove her down her throats like a WWE thing with she's blonde?
She needs to work on her promo. She's a rough promo.
Yeah.
She's a very rough promo. Great in the ring, but holy shit, she is rough to listen to. I understand the vibe of Tiffany Stratton, the pretty girl. And like I said, when I say it could be Tiffy time anytime for me, I mean it. But I think that less is more when it comes to the mic work with Tiffany Stratton. And going forward, I really think she needs to work on her mic skills. She has a fine character. She owns it. And she's amazing in the ring for her age. But at the end of the day, she really does need to work on her promo. I don't think she's going to be forced down our throats. I think that it's going to be a slow burn with Tiffany Stratton going forward. And in the end, we are ultimately going to get ourselves a solid women's title reign. You could be right in the end, but we're going to have to wait and see how it plays out. But who can you see in the future for Tiffany Stratton? To be quite honest with you, I don't know. I mean, if they want to bring in Mako Satomura, I'd actually love to see a match between Tiffany and Mako, because Mako Satomura is fantastic. They already did Roxanne Perez, so I don't really think that they're going to go forth with that. It's tough to call because there really isn't any top-tier baby faces that they could genuinely put up against Tiffany Stratton. A lot outside of Roxanne. Roxanne is legit the only one. Yep. Gigi Dolan's not there yet. She's not. Yep. I don't know what they're going to do, man. But if you have something in mind, let me know.
Honestly, for how long, that's the question. I'll let it go past the Great American Bash. Let her win there. And then maybe you'll lose at Survivor Series weekend. I don't know. But
I mean, like, deadline seems like the best possible scenario because that's in, like, the beginning of December.
Yeah. I was thinking that. And then you, maybe another WWE superstar, women's superstar comes down. Maybe Natalia again or something. Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah, see how well that worked out for her against Rhea.
Trust
70
me,
seconds.
I know that. Seconds. I know that. She gets paid to be squashed.
Oh, man.
Like, we all love Natalia, but it's just like, give her some time in the ring. God dang.
It was perfectly booked because Rhea's a beast.
Well, yeah. I would have gave it like 5 max. No. Give Natalia something.
On her birthday, it happened.
Right.
I love it. I was laughing my ass off. It was fantastic.
I was laughing on Monday when Seth Rollins and Rhea. I was cracking up.
A little throwback to Shawn Michaels and Melina.
Yep.
Main event. Carmelo Hayes, his homecoming, versus Braun Breaker, NXT Championship. Braun Breaker, ever since he turned heel, dude, Braun Breaker has fucking owned this heel turn. I actually prefer Braun as a heel more. Braun came out with a hoodie that looked torn up, and he was wearing all black with a feral dog mask on his face. Can I just say that he looked great? Almost like a fucking werewolf. That's the Braun Breaker that I want to see. That is the Braun Breaker that is going to get over on the main roster. We see more of that Braun Breaker. No complaints on my end. More of that shit, please. More of that shit.
I was going to say how much I love this heel turn. I mean, about damn time, right?
Yeah.
It should have been done a lot sooner.
He really felt like ever since he lost the NXT title to Ziggler and then he won it back, it didn't feel like he was clicking.
No, it
It
didn't.
didn't feel like he was clicking at all.
With Braun Breaker, I have this going. When is he going to get called up? That's the question for me.
I think that I actually was going to talk about that on my show. He's actually one of the individuals that could be set for a call up.
Mm-hmm.
Him and the Creed brothers.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, first things first. This match was a better match than what we got at Stand and Deliver. Not to say that the Stand and Deliver match was bad. It was good, but it felt like it was a little too slow in the beginning. Braun Breaker's heel turn gave this program life. Braun Breaker's heel turn gave this program a sense of intensity that it was missing going into Stand and Deliver. And now that we have that intensity, now we can sit back and watch the carnage unfold. And one thing for sure about this match, no rest period. No rest period. It was all action. And for 15 minutes, it was a better match than what we got at Stand and Deliver. But the question here is, did they end it a little too soon? Did they end it a little too soon? It honestly felt like with the intensity of this feud that it should have gone at least 20 minutes.
Yep.
It honestly felt like it should have gone at least 20 minutes, and we should have gotten a little bit more than what we got. Not to say that what we got was bad. Crowd was lively. Both men, they were hitting everything on the mark. It was on point. It was smooth. It was crisp. It was clean. And there was no outside interference. It was perfectly laid out. But it just felt like it left a little bit more to be desired. It was very good, a better match than what we got last month, or 2 months ago, because it's June 1st now, so 2 months ago. But in the end, I don't know. It felt like, I almost hit my mic over here. It felt like it could have gone a little bit longer and they could have given us just a little bit more than what we got. But before we get into it, what are your thoughts on it?
With this match, if it got like more time, I would have said it would have been up there, maybe with the match of the year candidate. If it got a little more time, it was that good.
It was doing very well. It was getting there.
Yeah, I mean, let these guys go at it again, which I highly doubt they're gonna do. But yeah,
No,
Braun Breaker.
It's over. It's over. Carmelo Hayes beat him clean.
Yep. And then who's gonna face Carmelo Hayes now?
Corbin. Man, that's going to be fun. Unless he brings back the Lone Wolf.
It feels like the 0-16 Detroit Lions. God fucking damn it.
You go from Grayson Waller and Braun Breaker to Baron Corbin. Baldy Corbin.
I miss Happy Corbin.
No, I miss the Lone Wolf.
I miss the Lone Wolf, but I miss
the fucking
Corbin.
Lone Wolf. He needs his fucking hair back. Shaving his hair off was one of the worst things that he could have done.
You know what's funny, too? He was the last person to pin Roman Reigns in 2019.
I know. How fucking scary is that?
And look where they are now.
Where are they now?
Roman Reigns. Oh, my God.
Dead. A dead character.
Yeah, it was dead from the jump, honestly, for me.
Anyway. Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker. So, Breaker looked great. Breaker looked awesome. Melo dove over the top rope onto Breaker. Heavy hitting early on. Breaker with a slam to Melo. Breaker regained control. Crowd was heavy into Melo. Melo then with a reverse fadeaway. Nice move there. And an arm drag by Hayes. Breaker came in with a stiff lariat. Turned Carmelo Hayes inside out. Crowd was chanting, "You suck" at Braun Breaker. Breaker then with a belly-to-belly barrage on Melo. Then he delivered a Frankensteiner from the middle rope. That was very nice. That got a 2. Melo Mello, we had a DDT by Mello, spiking breaker right on his head. He tried to mount the comeback with a super kick, punt kick, and a beautiful springboard clothesline. Tilt-a-whirl into a facebuster. Braun kicked out. He had kicked out at 1, by the way. We had a suplex cutter by Mello for a 2. Braun went for the power slam. Mello countered into a beautiful code breaker. He went for nothing but net, but he missed. Breaker then went for the spear, but he was sent into the post. This was probably one of the best spots of the entire show. Mello went for the springboard clothesline, and he soared halfway across the ring. Braun Breaker met him and delivered easily one of the most devastating mid-air spears that I've ever seen in quite some time, completely fucking cutting Carmelo Hayes in half. Mello was able to kick out. Fucking loved that mid-air spear. Probably the best spear that Braun Breaker's ever done. So Braun Breaker just went on a gut-wrench suplex barrage. Mello countered with another DDT and then hit nothing but net. No interference, no games, and he pins Braun Breaker clean. A better match. But again, man, I felt like they ended it a little too soon. Really did end it a little too soon, but this was the right outcome. No reason why Carmelo Hayes was going to be losing. He was always the man that was going to win this match, and he will be carrying that championship going into the summer because this is Melo's time.
Yep.
Let me get one last analytical dissection, man, and then we're going to wrap it up.
Very great show. I was shocked how great it was. I can't wait for the next NXT pay-per-view. Because of this show, bro, I'm going to try to watch NXT more. Even though
No. NXT weekly television sucks. Just watch the pay-per-views.
I meant the highlights.
Yeah, just watch the highlights.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. I'm not watching the weekly show. There's no way.
You better not be, because that shit sucks.
It really does. I'm just going to stick to the pay-per-views.
All right, smart. Smart man you are.
Yeah.
Where can you see Mello going now? If it's Corbin, they better not fucking do it at the pay-per-view. Oh, my Lord.
Why do I feel like it? Why do I have that feeling? It's just like,
Shawn Michaels, he woke up on the right side of the bed on Sunday. I don't think he's going to wake up on the right side of the bed again.
It was only because the AEW Double or Nothing. That is the only reason why Shawn Michaels is like, banger, we got to do a banger. And that's
pretty much, man, pretty much. But I really do hope that they do something, because this past Tuesday, it wasn't a god-awful show, but they did not build on the momentum that we saw. There was really no wow factor. It just felt like any other run-of-the-mill typical NXT event that we got this past Tuesday. Really no excitement. And that is probably the biggest problem with WWE. Look at what AEW did on Wednesday. AEW gave us a great show yesterday evening, and they followed up very nicely. And some people may even say that this week's Dynamite was actually better than Double or Nothing. But NXT, they didn't give us anything outside of Mustafa Ali and Baron Corbin to get excited about. Ali's fine. Corbin, not so much.
Yep.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of The Rewind. Solid amount of time. Thank you all for tuning in, and thank you all for your condolences and your thoughts and prayers. You are missed deeply, Jeffrey Turner, and everything, like I said, everything that we do going forward is going to be for you. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, thank you, Mitch, for stopping by. You have been great. You have been awesome. And I greatly appreciate all of your support as well. One more time, before we get out of here, where can we find you on social media?
So you guys can find me on social media at Mitch Kofsky on Twitter, Instagram, everything, everywhere. Yeah, great show, bro. Can't wait to be back on, but I hated that Tiffy time thing. And fuck you about the Super Bowl.
No. You do not hate Tiffy time. If you walked in and Tiffany Stratton was in a fucking towel in the middle of your living room, you would say, it could be Tiffy time any fucking time for me, babe. I know I would.
That's not what I fucking meant. I was talking about it, then I was like, God dang it. But yeah, of course I wouldn't say that.
This is why I'm the best, man. But thank you, Mitch. I'll probably have you on for the Rewind for Forbidden Door if you can get your schedule.
Yeah.
But you already know the drill, people. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. Till next time, he's Mitch Kofsky. I'm DJ Storms. This has been The Rewind. But before we get out of here, baby, Mitch, you must answer the question. Who runs the IWC?
D motherfucking J Storms.
You damn right, baby. Who but DJ motherfucking Storms?
Hornswoggle.
Don't you? Yeah, Hornswoggle, man. He knows the drill. He's a very intelligent man, and don't anyone forget it.
Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.